Though the Obama administration has promised to look forward, today at the Justice Department, hundreds of previously classified documents, including a 5-year-old CIA report, were released. The report by former CIA Inspector General John Helgerson is considered the most comprehensive and independent assessment of the enhanced interrogation program, which included the waterboarding of 3 detainees in CIA custody. Prior to the official release, details of the CIA report were already circulating in Washington. Among them, that the alleged planner of the USS Cole attack, which killed 17 sailors off the coast of Yemen in October 2000, was subjected to mock executions, a violation of the federal law banning torture. Abd al-Nashiri, one of 3 high-value detainees to be waterboarded, had a gun and power drill held near his head. In another incident, when guards moved the detainee from the interrogation room, they passed a guard who was dressed as a hooded detainee, lying motionless on the ground and made to appear as if he had been shot to death. 2 detainees, including the self-described architect of 9/11, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, had their families threatened. If there was another attack on U.S. soil, KSM was told, "We're going to kill your children." In an email to CIA employees, Director Leon Panetta said the report was an old story, adding that several agency components, quote, disagree with some of the findings and conclusions. Prior to the release, the former CIA director warned against it in the strongest possible terms.
Continuing looking back, continuing to pull these good people through a knothole, will teach people never to play to the edge.
And further,
we will teach timidity to a workforce that we need to be vigorous and active.
The Attorney General said last week the release of the documents was in the country's best interests.
We will not be doing anything that would endanger the American people or in some ways lessen our national security.
The report states that the interrogation program was successful, in part because it took senior al-Qaeda operatives off the battlefield and they provided intelligence about the structure of al-Qaeda and future operations. It does not go into specific methods. The document release comes on the same day as confirmation that Justice Department officials are recommending an investigation and possible criminal prosecution of those connected to nearly 10 detainee cases. John Durham, a career prosecutor who investigated the destruction of CIA videotapes showing some interrogations, will lead the review. At a White House briefing where the president is vacationing at Martha's Vineyard, the administration sought to reconcile its promise to look forward when a criminal investigation would dredge up the past.
Well, as the president has said repeatedly, he thinks that we should be looking forward, not backward. He does agree with the Attorney General that anyone who conducted actions that had been sanctioned should not be prosecuted. But ultimately, the decisions on who is investigated and who is prosecuted are up to the Attorney General.
And late today, 2 more documents were released. These are CIA documents, and we believe they are the same documents that former Vice President Dick Cheney wanted released because he said they would show that the enhanced interrogation program provided useful intelligence that saved lives. I want to read from one of the documents titled Detainee Reporting Pivotal for the War Against al-Qaeda. It reads in part, since the 11th of September 2001, detainee reporting has become a crucial pillar of U.S. counterterrorism efforts, aiding intelligence and law enforcement operations to capture additional terrorists, helping to thwart terrorist plots, and advancing our analysis of the al-Qaeda target. They have also provided unique insights into different aspects of the terrorist organization, including its leadership, attack strategy, and tactics. Detainees have played some role in nearly every capture of al-Qaeda members and associates since 2002. Brett?
Catherine, do we know how much of that information came from waterboarding?
I want to emphasize that we're still going through these last 2 documents, but what I was told from my contacts this afternoon is that a significant portion of the intelligence that's detailed in these reports did come after Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was waterboarded. I was told that he became what amounted to a human Rolodex because of his broad institutional knowledge about the al-Qaeda network and also its membership, Brett.
Okay, Catherine, as you scour those documents, if you find anything else, let us know. Thank you. House Judiciary Committee Chairman John Conyers and Constitution Subcommittee Chairman Gerald Nadler are applauding the Attorney General's decision to appoint that prosecutor, but are both saying it doesn't go far enough. Just hours after the announcement from the Justice Department, the 2 congressmen called for the prosecutor to be given a broad mandate to follow the evidence where it leads and to prosecute where warranted. The White House is taking the oversight of high-value interrogations away from the CIA. Senior White House correspondent Major Garrett is at the presidential vacation retreat on Martha's Vineyard. So how would this work, Major?
Well, good evening, Brett. It's called the High Value Detainee Interrogation Group, otherwise known by the White House henceforth as HIG, will be housed at the FBI, but the supervisory role will be carried out by the National Security Council. That means the White House is placing its accountability and its scrutiny of all future interrogations of high-value terrorist suspects directly under its watch. Bill Burton, the Deputy White House Press Secretary, described a little bit about the program earlier today here in Martha's Vineyard.
And it'll bring together all the different elements of the intelligence community to get the best intelligence possible based on scientifically proven methods and consistent with the Army Field Manual.
That means, of course, waterboarding, that's always been out, but it also means when you comply with the Army Field Manual, Brett, no loud music, no sleep deprivation. The White House believes those tactics don't work, and other, as Bill Burton implied, scientifically calibrated techniques, meaning persuasion, sort of soft sell, work better.
So does this knock the CIA out of the interrogation business?
The White House says no, but bureaucratically, when you move something out of the CIA and take it over to the FBI and then put supervision of it at the White House, you know bureaucratically the CIA's role has been diminished. Bill Burton addressed that question as well. Let's take a quick listen.
The CIA is obviously has a very important role to play as it relates to interrogations. They've done a brilliant job in doing it so far, gathering intelligence. A lot of people don't know that half of the FBI's mission is actually to gather intelligence. So what this does is it houses all these different elements under one group where they can best perform their duties.
A deputy with the CIA will be a member of that group and will have a seat at the table, the White House says. One other recommendation, the CIA be taken out of the role of transferring detainees from country to country. The group recommends the State Department take over that obligation.
And very quickly, Major, what about the timing of all of this? You know, you have a lot of people looking at this. A lot of that briefing today was about this very topic and not health care reform that the president has spent days, weeks talking about. What about the timing of all of this?
Quickly, the White House says there's no coincidence. The reality is, Brett, that the White House is moving away from health care because the president simply has devoted so much time to it, has got to get on to other things. This was a pending matter of business. It's now out there.
All right, Major Garrett live in Martha's Vineyard. Thanks.